Testing, 1, 2. Better. So today I'm going to talk about the Superhome movement. Who's heard of the Superhome movement? That's pretty good. Who's heard about the 10-star home that was built in Ellington? Who's visited there? All right. I'm sorry, you're going to have to listen to me again then. But yeah, I think not all homes need to be 10 stars, but that's been a really interesting project. There's 2 homes there. There's a single-story and a 2-story home. They were designed as 9, and through the process we worked out that we could get it to 10. And the 2-story house was the first 10-star home, and the single-story one was finished shortly after. So they're still the only 10-star homes in New Zealand, so I'm going to go through the details about what's different about these houses. There's around 30 innovations in those homes that are not commonly done in New Zealand homes. And I probably won't have time to talk about all of them, but I'll talk about the most important ones. But first of all, what is the Superhome movement? So the 10-star home project has been a really useful demonstration tool to create awareness about how to get a better home and get better value for your money when you're building a home with a lower ongoing running cost of ownership. So it's been an awesome platform to launch the Superhome movement, because we got quite a bit of press, and it was on TV 4 or 5 times, and so a lot of people have been through the house. I'm not sure how many people. There's probably been a few thousand people through there. Just in the month of May alone, we had a special exemplar homes tour, we called it, and we had 7 houses on the tour. 2 of them were the Church Square 10-star homes, and 2,000 people visited just during that 1 month to check it out and see what's different. And that's really interesting and encouraging to see such a groundswell of people wanting to know about how to get a better house than a building code house. And that's really important, because a building code house, to be frank, is pretty crappy. It's 3 stars. So we're allowed to build very low quality houses in New Zealand because our building code is not really fit for purpose. And there's a lot of things that are missing from the building code that are really important when it comes to building a house. And there are other things in the building code that are just not very good details. So I'm going to talk about a few of those. So Superhome movement is about pointing out what's missing from the building code, the important things that we need to think about and what we need to do better. And so it's creating awareness for the public, how to get better value for your money when you're building a home, how to get a better place to live. So, and there's a lot that goes into that. It's not just about energy and running costs. Superhome movement is about design, really important. Design filters through everything. It's about resilience. Is it earthquake resistant? Is it durable? Is it gonna stand the test of time? And sustainability and energy. So there's those 4 things that are really important. And it's not a rating system. It's just about getting the ideas out there, and it's an open source sharing of information. So for the industry, it's a really good referral network. So we've got there's a list of builders. There's a stand just 2 along here out the door, and there's a list of builders that are participating in Christchurch. There's around about, on the stand over there, there's around about 14 or 15 builders. There's a handful of architects and designers, and a whole bunch of other companies. So you know, if they're part of the Superhome movement, they've been thinking about the right things, and they've got the right attitude and the right ethos to how to build a better home, how to design and build a better home. And that's really important. So from my point of view as an architectural designer, I know that when I finished a great plan for a house, great design, one of the Superhome builders will be the best people to talk to about pricing that and building that. So it's great for me. They know that if they're building for the best architects and designers, they're going to get the best houses to build. So it's national. Canterbury, it's more established because I'm based in Canterbury, but we have done sort of a soft launch in Auckland and Wellington via this Go Green Expo previously. In September, there's a big launch happening in Auckland and in Wellington. And the movement's really starting to get some traction because it's getting some major national companies that are getting on board as supporters. So we can do more. So rather than just me doing it in my spare time. So there's a lot of volunteer people working. So it was my idea, but there's a lot of good people doing a lot of work in the background. And just voluntarily, it's a not-for-profit group. So we think it's a really, really important thing to get a healthy, energy-efficient house. So we're just giving away all our ideas to that end. So next year, the Exemplar Homes tour will be national, so it'll be in all regions. This year, it was great because people could see and experience a super home, an energy-efficient, warm, comfortable, healthy home, see it in the flesh, and see what it feels like. And May, it was just starting to get a bit cold, and it was good. People could see, a house with no power bill, it can be 20 degrees all the time. So over the course of the year, the Church Square 10-star homes are energy positive. They produce more energy than they use. So this super home movement and doing the Church Square small, smart, energy efficient homes has led us to different areas of work. So we're doing some work on smaller, efficient social housing projects, medium density housing. And we actually, in this project, we included a couple of the Church Square houses. So there's one here where there's a big tree, the existing tree that needs to be retained, and then there's one back here. There's a row of row houses or terrace houses here, multi-unit, and this house is on the end of that row of homes. So we're going to see much more of that medium density, multi-unit type living in the future, and less standalone homes. So the exemplar criteria was really about demonstrating a better way of doing medium density, multi-unit. Although a lot of those houses are standalone because we wanted to get as much sun in as we could. Medium density multi-unit developments in Christchurch have, to be frank, not been done very well so far. So the council are wanting to set a benchmark and an exemplar, which is kind of a model to follow for the other developers, the private developers, and show the community that you can actually do nice medium density housing. And Auckland, a week ago, has ratified their unitary plan, and there is about 30% less standalone houses and sections allocated to standalone houses, and there's about 30% more to multi-unit medium density developments. So that's how we're going to be going over the next few years, making better use of the land, getting better value by using less land. So this house here it's not tiny, but it's quite small. So it's just under 140 square metres, and there's 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. The lower level, there's no waste space. So basically the first principle is build what you need, don't build a bigger house than you need. A lot of people get sucked into building bigger houses than are necessary in New Zealand, and our thinking is quality, not quantity. So if you can make a really spatially efficient design, then you can build less and you can do a better job of it. So here there's no hallway, there's no waste space, but we've still managed to fit a lot into a small footprint. So the bottom floor, we've got a stairway dividing the living and the kitchen dining. The kitchen, we've just got a kitchen table, dining table, so that's combining the kitchen and the dining. That's kind of the old-fashioned way of doing it, but there's actually loads of bench space in this kitchen anyway, and a walk-in pantry with even more bench space. So we thought if we put the kitchen table in there, then we can eliminate a whole other room space and use the rest of the space for living. And that's worked brilliantly. So you know, in the 80s, I guess, we went through this stage of everyone has to have an island bench, and we're kind of moving away from that now and moving to, instead of having an open plan with kitchen, dining, living, and everything happening in one space, separating it out, and you're separating out the noise and the smell and everything. And you've really got two separate spaces that you can use for two separate things. So upstairs, the passageway, there's no passageway. So this area here is an office, home office. So we're using the circulation space as a room. And then we've got two double-sized bedrooms, one larger bedroom with an ensuite and a shared bathroom. And there's a little balcony out the front. So the age-old principle of architecture, the sun rises in the east, sets in the west. This house faces due north. You'd think that's pretty common sense, but a lot of people still build houses backwards, where they're not built to the sun. You wouldn't believe how many houses I see that are not built to the sun. And so larger windows on the north side, minimal windows or no windows on the south side. There's never going to be any sun on that side. I quite often see new developments, and there's one just across the other side of church where there's full height glass on the south side of the building facing the road. It's absolutely crazy. I thought we'd got over that, you know, with the bay villas and glass facing the street, but people still do it. So we like the sun in the morning. So in the morning we get the sun in the east side because there's no overhang on that side. The north-facing windows are recessed. The west side we've got metre overhang. It's actually relatively easy. Well, we think it's relatively easy to make a warm, energy-efficient house. It's harder to make a house that's not going to overheat. If it's energy efficient and warm and comfortable during the winter with no power bill, it could be too hot in the summer if you haven't taken care of shading. So shading is really important, and it's something that's often overlooked. So we've got shading here, and on the west side, we're not so worried about shading on the east side because we want some solar gain in the morning. So this wall here is a solar wall, so we're collecting warm air here. So on a 0 degrees frosty morning, we can have, the air comes in, there's a cavity, it's black aluminium, the sun, a little bit of sun in the morning, they'll warm up the air. We're monitoring that. We can get 27 degrees pre-warmed fresh air into the energy recovery ventilation system into the house, and with 0 degrees temperature outside. So that's free, warm air. And that's just, that cavity's there anyway. In New Zealand construction, it's there